Today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in Bob Ross, The Art of Chill, which I do not own, but I do own a photo of it that I printed out. I played this game for the first time this past, what was it, Saturday, Sunday? We actually played 6 new-to-me games on Sunday. I learned 6 games, and this game surprised me the most. I enjoyed a lot of these games. I will be talking about them this week and next week, and I enjoyed a lot of them, but this game is probably the one that I'm the most excited to return to, which really surprised me because it's a Bob Ross game. You think, okay, it's a throwaway IP, but no, I think the publisher did a really, really great job with this game. I really enjoyed it. It's a beautiful game, and the mechanisms come together and are tied to the theme really, really well. There are 2 mechanisms in particular that I want to talk about today. One is, as you can see in the background here, all players are working on one painting at a time, but that painting will change throughout the game depending on a few different factors. And I don't know if you can see on there, but you can see a little token. Let's see if I can point right there. That's Bob himself. The idea is that players are competitively creating this painting, but Bob is also working on it. And when Bob moves to the end of this track, the painting is complete and you get a new painting. And there are a couple mechanisms tied to this that I think are really, really clever. One is the fact that you have a timer on this painting, which contributes to 2 different things. One, you know, okay, this is how much time I have left to paint this painting. And also, you know, at a certain point, we're going to cycle out this painting and get to another one. The other part is that on this track, you probably can't see it here, but there are little points here where if you can complete certain parts of the painting before Bob gets to them, regardless of what other players are doing, you get extra points for completing that part of the painting. Like there are these mountains here, there's some water down here, and some trees, I believe, over here. There are these different parts of the painting that you're trying to complete. So I like that not only are you kind of racing against Bob to complete the painting, but also just complete certain parts of it before he gets to those parts. So that's one element of the game that I really, really like. I like that Bob is a timer for the game, and that how those interactions, how they work with this painting. The other part of the game that I really, really like is how you balance your palette in this game. So, actually, I don't have a photo of it here, I'm sorry. But in this game, every player has their own little painting palette that you are combining different colors of paint on. You can actually see the paint cards here. So the different colors of paint, and they each have brushes on them as well. And you are putting different colors on your palette to complete these different parts of the painting that I showed you before. However, the really clever thing here is that your palette has 2 sides. So you have 2 different places where you can put paint. And it's a little hard to describe why this works so well, because I actually did not play well in my first game of Bob Ross, The Art of Chill. Because instead of spreading out my paints between the 2 sides of the palette, I loaded up one side with exactly the colors that I needed to complete one of these objectives. I can't remember which one, but it was one of those. And in doing so, I prevented myself from doing anything else with those colors until a new painting came around, and then I had to wipe all those colors clear. The reason for that is you must have exactly the colors that you need here. So I can't, so I think this is what, a green, a yellow, and an orange. I need exactly those colors to paint that section of the painting. But if I have a green, a yellow, and orange on one side of my palette, which that only holds 3 colors, then the only things I can paint with those colors are green, yellow, and orange. I need one specific area for those colors. Whereas, because if I have another part of the painting, here's actually a good example. At the top of the painting here, we have something that needs green, blue, white, and yellow. So there are 2 overlapping colors there between those 2, green and yellow. But I cannot paint this top part if I have orange in the mix. I need to get rid of that orange, and you cannot do that. When you wipe your palette, you have to wipe all the colors clear of the palette, of one side of the palette. So what I should have done here is I should have looked at this painting and I should have said, okay, I need to put green and yellow on one side of my palette, and then on the other side of the palette, I should have put orange maybe, and then wiped orange clear, and then loaded up that side of the palette with white and blue and completed that top part of the painting. So it's all about kind of staggering these 2 sides of your palette so that you don't waste paint. You don't want to ever wipe paint if you don't have to. And trying to string together multiple parts of the painting all at once and prepare yourself for what the next painting could be. You don't know what that next painting will be. So I really, really like this. It was a strategical thing that I completely missed out on in the first game, but I think it's really clever that there are two sides of that palette that you're balancing as you make decisions in this game. It gives you interesting decisions to make in this game. I could go on. There's a lot, actually, for such a simple game that was easy to learn and play and teach, there's actually a lot of interesting mechanisms in this game. If you have one that I have not mentioned here, I'd love to hear your thoughts about it in the comments. Or if the two mechanisms I mentioned, Bob as a timer and this double-sided palette, if they trigger any other mechanisms that you can think of from other games that you think are interesting or applicable to this discussion, I'd love to hear about them in the comments as well. Thanks.